It's your boy Trapvision 3D, and it's a beautiful Saturday. It's race weekend for those that's in Indianapolis, so we got that. So before we even get started, man, I got to do the wrist check. So I got the main green. Let me see. Let me see. What are they calling this thing online? The coronavirus. They're calling it the Cabbage Patch Kid, the Nickelodeon special, Unicron. This is Devastator. I'm calling it a Devastator. You know what I'm saying? It's super loud. It's fun. I really dig it. I know there is a particular YouTuber that absolutely hates this watch. Did a video on it, but nonetheless, I dig it. And on the right, I have the infamous. You see it. You see it right there. Yes. Yes. This is my military special, man. This right here, salute and all type of praise to any veteran and active service member, man. This is the Glycine Airman. This is the Chief for the Montrose strap. I know a few people that don't like Montrose straps for whatever reason, but it's really nice, something. I dig it. But yeah, these are the watches that I'm rocking today. But yeah, let's jump right into everything, man. Got the wrist check going on. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Thelonious Monk was the first one. Salute, my friend. How you doing, bro? Buenos Diaz. What's going on, Oscar? The Casio is a little loud, but not too much. Yeah, how do you feel about Watch Gang? Watch Gang, I don't have any experience with Watch Gang, honestly. I've heard that it's not worth it. I've had several people tell me that it's not worth it. So yeah, and I know that one of the reasons what one of my buddies jumped on was so he can actually potentially get a Rolex, and he said it never happened. So he got some heat out of the thing, for like the tier that he was at. I don't know. All right, so today I'm gonna keep this. It's gonna be super informal. Y'all know I'm always informal, man. I'm in one of my favorite restaurants. Period. There's another restaurant that I have to try. I think it's called Sunrise. It's out there. Well, if you're not from Indiana, you wouldn't know. But it's out there in Speedway. I was gonna do it today, but unfortunately, I have to go to work. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, somebody from my job is watching. Thank you so much for dropping this last minute stuff. But the show must go on. But at any rate, I actually have a list of things that I want to talk about today, and kind of get your feedback. I definitely want to get your feedback. I have a list of watches here that we're going to talk about. And if you look at the thumbnail, it's pretty much. You can view this live as what do you have in your collection that you consider a grail or so sentimental that it will never leave. Something that goes beyond the brand name of it, or maybe in conjunction with the brand name, and a certain time in history that you bought that watch or was gifted that watch, or whatever the case is. However you came across it, I want to talk about that. And first, I want to go through a number of watches because I have a watch, brand new. It's a brand new watch to me. It belongs to somebody else at one point, but I'll get to that part. But I want to go into. So for those that's new here, I have been an avid Invicta collector for years. Since 2014, my wife bought me my first two Invicta pieces, and from there, it was just a whole thing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But a part of my transition of coming from Invicta, 100% Invicta, sometimes Aragon, every once in a while, maybe a Casio here or there, but my show was predominantly, I'm going to say 99.5% Invicta. The first watch that I was introduced to that is considered I'm going to use the term web-based brand. I like that term. Give all credit to Skylar Santana, which, hey, bro, sorry I missed your live yesterday. It was crazy. Hold up. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said no politics here. What is going on? How do you feel about the watch? What's up? Worth it or not? Yeah. Hey, Chris, I saw that. We gonna talk. I promise we're gonna get into that. Ooh, Monk is on it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. What's going on, House of X? It's always a pleasure to see you guys in here. The only Invicta audience are Japanese NH35. Oh no, they got. I saw it. They have. Uh, we'll talk about it. But the first watch that I jumped into, as far as a web-based brand, is from the eGuard watch company. Now, this right here is a quartz timepiece, but it is a homage to the Richard Mille, right? Without the Richard Mille price. Premium leather. This thing, I've worn it, and the funny thing is, I met him through another channel, and Elon, and he talked about why he actually created this watch, which I thought was pretty dope. Or like the whole brand, you know, was for his father, right? So just go check the story out. I didn't even link it, sorry, but eGuard watches, and when I got this watch, I was amazed. This is one thing I do like. Oh, he has that engraved on the side case. Really comfortable, accurate timepiece. But it was more of, this was my introduction into web-based brands, what we call the micro brands or independent. And this is the Patriot Racer K1 glass. And outside of just doing specs, this watch is the culprit for me diving into independent watchmakers. With that being said, I had him on the show. We talked off and on, behind camera, through emails and stuff like that. He has a YouTube channel, very, very engaged with community stuff, man. So that watch will never leave my collection. It doesn't have to be the best watch. It doesn't have to have the best specs in the world. But when I think about, you know, what was like, as far as diving into this rabbit hole, what was the first watch that got me into it? Boom. It was that watch right there. And no particular order. Since Invicta was brought up, I do want to go straight Invicta, and we're going to talk about this piece right here. Is a 47 millimeter Invicta Pro Diver. Now, for people across the board, as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm positive that a number of people turn away from this because it's an Invicta and it's the size it is. And I'm sure this thing is about 17 millimeters thick, possibly. I don't have my calipers with me. But this one is housed or powered by the Salida 200. This was the very first Swiss. Is this one Swiss made? I think this one's Swiss made. Or they actually didn't notify. Sometimes they put Swiss made on the, right by the Rehot. They did not put it. Now, this thing has diamonds in the hour markers. You got mother of pearl, which it's dark mother of pearl. You can't see it. But I remember, who was it? Justin, I call him Jason. Justin Zimmer actually showcased this watch back in 2021, 2022? One of the two, I can't remember. I think it was 2020. It was 2022, the summer of 2022. I saw this watch. Now, all of the watches that I had up to that point were NH35 or Miota movements. I did not have any Swiss automatics. Now, this watch is a part of their reserve line. Press the button, you know, and it's a dive watch. You know, and some people like, hey, I really don't like the whole butterfly clasp, but that's besides the point. This watch, just, you know, they told me that, hey, I finally got into a reserve that wasn't quartz, it was automatic, and I felt like at the time, because I was following community so tough, I felt like, oh man, I finally got a watch, man, that is deserving of posting, deserving of mentioning. And when I gathered with, you know, like if there was an Invicta event, I would bring this watch with me and set it up for display. And it's like, we're having conversations. Everybody's talking back and forth, and they're like, yo, man, they're picking it up, they putting it on. They're like, yo, man, you got this. This is dope, man. I remember when this first came out, I couldn't get it, or some people got like different colorways. So this one, yeah. Now, speaking, I'm actually going to jump. I want to just say this, and I want to give a direction and a shout out to, I mean, Super Niche. You guys, I don't know if you guys ever watched that channel. Really good channel. These guys doing a podcast style, and they introduce luxury market, the independent. They do, like, they watch collectors at the end of the day. Two brothers that sit up there and drop knowledge. Well, they had a video recently, and there were a couple of things they were talking about. And it was like, I think the topic was how to get a Rolex, right? And it was, I'm listening to the whole thing, right? And it's not that, it's like I'm not going to get a Rolex right now, but I'm listening to the whole thing, just getting the knowledge. And then he got to one part that really inspired me doing this video, because I'm going to ask you guys a question here shortly. But it got me thinking about brands, and I want to stick with Invicta right now. Invicta used to be so engaging with their customer base, their fan base. Now, when I cut on YouTube and I go in between commercials, I get the Invicta commercials, and they give you this message, and it is. I don't think it's fair to the customer base that supported them to get them to where they are right now. And for those that don't know, Basel World back in the day featured Invicta for, I want to say, well over 12 years. I want to say it was 16 years, but I know it was over a decade. Invicta was invited to Basel World, and in 2000 and was it 2013? They got the Red Dot Award, and I don't have an example of that watch. I actually have that watch that they got the Red Dot Award for because of the crown system. So the CEO of Invicta he did a great job of exposing the brand, getting people to be interested, and he hired the right people to take and run. They got the ball and they ran with it. 2025, only thing you have is Invicta Europe. They come on, they do their show, they show you what they go to, whatever watches they are. And that is as far as the excitement goes. But then you think about, that's Europe. Your fan base, like, you have to pay a little extra to get that watch here if you were to buy it. And there's no point where you could just go to Invicta stores. But that's even dead, in my opinion, from my vision, because being a fan of the brand, they always had a representation. And going to JTV now, and shout out to Ryan and Kendi, they always still gonna be two of my favorite people outside of the brand. Who cares? Like, I don't care about the brand. I don't have to talk Invicta. Those are two special people, right? Enjoy them. But Invicta's not doing jack. I mean, absolutely nothing as far as I'm concerned. No excitement whatsoever. So they dropped the ball. And there was always that question, that posed a question. That's coming from you guys. Will Invicta survive through 2025? I don't know. We're going to get more into that. Let me get it back into the chat real quick. Yo, Jay Jones in the building. Sometimes Swiss Made is on the case back. It does. Oh, you know what? You're right. Nope, this says Swiss Movement. I'm tripping. So it wasn't made in Switzerland. That's okay though, because like in 2025, now this was a big deal, but in 2025, there was a lot of companies that got exposed, including Rolex, that they don't always, the watches are built in China, and then, yeah, there may be a mainspring or something added. I don't care as long as it works, and we'll talk more. Like, we're going to get into it, because today is like, answer this question for me, guys. Is there a watch in your collection that you consider to be so sentimental that you will never, ever, ever, ever get rid of it? I mean, like, somebody would have to pry from your cold, dead hands. And even if they did get it while you were dead, your soul will haunt them for the rest of their life until they return it to one of your people. Is there a watch? Put that in the box. Brick wall in the house. That's right. That's right. I love that, man. Brick City, baby. Yeah, hey, I've had this, man. I actually got this hat. I got a pair of J's at this match, man, because that hat is actually reflective at night. DK in the building, man. Yo, it is the new podcaster. Micah Ponte is in the building, man. He is the number one man with a plan. Man, how's wifey, man? It's good seeing you in the chat, bro. It's good seeing you in the chat, man. Yeah, that is so dope, man. It's like he has been a huge supporter, man. It's crazy that you were in there. I wouldn't even want to get to that part, man. Let's talk community real quick. Let's talk community. I'm going to actually, I'll come back to that. I'll come back to the sentimental piece, but I want to talk community. So some of you guys are saying here, and this is a question that you can answer, whether now or just, if you want to do it after this is aired. How important is community to you? Because some people don't collect watches to be involved with the community. But how important is community to you? And that was one of the things I want to go back to super niche, because there was a question asked, and does a watch company consider the collector, right? And in this case, I can say, and because Mike is in here, Mike and I have history, but I know he has history. Him and his wife has history with Invicta, and there's some things that like we talked about, right? And it doesn't appear that Invicta is at all concerned with the community, right? And granted, the niche part of the brand, because you got consumers, right? People that go on cruises, people that shop at Walmart, people that they'll buy Invicta at a pawn shop or something like that. They make up more. They're more of the purchase base. But shoot, we got one guy that spent close to $1 million. One man spent close to $1 million on Invicta, right? And during over the course of whatever. And I'm like, yo, so that was just for one guy to do that. And then you have thousands of us as collectors. But then of course you have the consumer base that really don't even know that there's Facebook groups like Invictaholics or anything, right? So I think community is very important for me. I love it. I love it, man. That's the reason why I started this channel, is showing my passion for watches. And then I didn't even know that I would get involved in community like that. I just wanted to express my passion. But then when I went on that first Invicta cruise, I was in love. I was like, yo, this is dope. I got out of my shell, because the only people that I cared about was my immediate family, my wife and children, and people from my church, and that was it. But then I opened up, because I'm like, hey, kind of stand back. I'm cordial and nice to people, but then I just dove both feet in, right? And I could say after COVID, I started to see the writing was on the wall with Invicta, and I was like, yo, what's going on? And then last year, I was like, I bought one Invicta last year with my money, and that was for my marriage. Roy, his daughter passed, so I bought that watch. You know what I'm saying? And then we went on a cruise, and I bought that to commemorate this relationship, this partnership, because my heart was wrenched when this man texted me that morning. I was literally maybe 100 feet from the door of my church when he texted me, and I was stunned, oh my gosh. So that watch, I don't have it with me now, but that watch is a piece that I would never get rid of. I would never ever get rid of, and I haven't even sized it yet, because I have to take it over to Kokomo so they can scribe my man on there and his daughter's name in that watch to just really make it what it is. I may even put his daughter's name on the actual rotor. I'm gonna ask my guys over there at Kokomo to do that. And that watch will be an heirloom. That I know it has Invicta on the thing, and I know people across YouTube is like, man, Invicta's not worth whatever. And I'm like, whatever. Let me get into the chat real quick, because I seen, man, no watch is worth my life. But yeah, just got the red tails. If Invicta would stick to making smaller models and stop the ridiculous pieces and use quality movements, I think they can pick up where they left off when things were good. Chris, I believe they can. And all they had to do, because through the home shopping networks and stuff like that, they were actually ahead of their time, because how we view stuff here on YouTube, dude, they were doing that 16 years ago. The elements that people like, the titanium, tiger's eye, all the little stone dials, man, meteorite, Swiss movements. Invicta's been doing this for a long time, so I'm like, you got it. I mean, it's there. And then you think about the price. If you by you doing that and you're keeping your prices competitive. As a matter of fact, I mean, dude, Invicta, well, literally, if you look at some of the prices, so back in the day, 15, 16 years ago, when you're talking getting a Swiss made piece or Swiss movement piece from Invicta, you spending $1,500 on a Salida or at a 2824, and they may give you a discount. You may pay $900, but anywhere from $900 to $1,500. It's not COSC certified, right? But then they had it. They offered that in certain models. Chronometer certified. They gave you the whole everything, like 18 years ago. So yeah, if they brought that back, I'm like, you good to go. Whitetail. I have a Seiko Samurai that I wore for years. A rough patch in my life. Police action ended breaking it now. Rough patch I rebuilt. Oh wow. You talking about this one? You want me to gloat? I'll do it. Yo, watch it, James. Ha! No, you right on time, bro. You right on time. Thanks for being here. Community is important in all aspects, whether it's sports cars, watches, etc. It's better when shared. Exactly. I do appreciate it. I think it started off by them caring about collectors, but then took it overboard with crazy random stuff that didn't sell. In my opinion, that's why they're going down, down, down. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, Mike. You know what? Your what was that? When I got to the cruise, of course, that was 2018 when I first met you. I mean, I've seen you online and stuff like that, Facebook, but 2018, I went over to Big John. I went to his collection first. And then there was, I can't remember the guy, Big John had gave him a Star Wars piece. And I immediately walked around. You were right next to Big John. I came over there and you told me about the piece that saved your wrist. I would never, ever, ever forget that. And you didn't even change the crystal. You just like, yo, this watch means a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that. And that was a time where I was just, like, you had already been embedded in the Invicta culture. And I was really just getting my feet wet, man. And yeah, Invicta's dropped the ball since then. Pacers, man, bro. I'm gonna tell you how, man, Indiana was just going crazy here, man. They started painting the Pacer stuff all over the place, man. Like, yeah, they should have stayed with staple pieces like diamonds, especially the good movements. Yeah, they should. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nobody asked for all that other stuff, man. Other stuff was crazy. I see you wearing Jody's most hated watch. Yes, I am wearing it. And if Jody, I doubt Jody ever watched this, man, but I thought it was funny. Somebody sent me the video like, yo, Trap, check this out. And I was like, yo, Jody, really? I know he hated it. And he said it's the worst. I think this is dope. Go check out Super Niche. You'll see this watch feature. I like it, man. This is an angry tennis ball. This thing is, you can call it the Genome, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever you want to call it. I like it. It's comfortable. And I will agree, though, this thing, like, if you look at it dead on to see the time, that negative display, it don't. So you got to play with it. There we go. There we go. But as long as I can see these hands, that's all I care about. And at night, man, the light, I don't know if you can see that light. The whole thing lights up. Like, it's dope. It's dope. And then it just makes it, it gives an extra value to me. Because there's people like Jody that don't like it, that makes me like it even more. Because Jody has such an influence on YouTube. And not like Jody. I watch Jody. He's one of my favorite channels to watch, man. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I will put a comment down about stuff like that. I just don't feel like engaging the clan that comes along with it, because I can go back and forth. If I ever see Jody in person, I'll talk and tell him how I felt and express, which I do at these different events. But I don't feel like dealing with the peanut gallery with all that crap. I thought it was funny too. No, Trap is immune from all the vampires with that watch. Hey, I'm trying to tell you. Hey, this thing, I'm like, what you doing? Trying to bite me? No sir, no sir. Can't fool with it. All right. Let me get back on topic. So we're talking about sentimental watches, and then the other thing too, because we got James in there. James did a video where he talked about, do you have your grail? Do you own your grail? Did you buy something that you consider like, is a grail piece, right? And so I'm going to just pair that with this whole sentimental watch. The watches that will never leave your collection, something that goes beyond time. Keeping in lieu of the title that I use today, because there are some watches in my collection. For example, this Bruce Lee Seiko, right? The Seiko 5. Now, it's Bruce Lee, okay? Then there's the fact that Bruce Lee actually sold the dragon that they used on here, that's embossed on the dial. That's actually a rendering of Bruce Lee, so there's that. And they have the text around it, which I think is beautiful. I don't know what it means, but maybe I'll look that up it's in time, I'll look it up. But this is the most important thing about this watch, is yes, there's 14,000 of these things out there in the world, so is that really limited? Yeah, because I was one of the last ones in my state that could get this, because I reached out. I actually went to Trifecta. He didn't have it. I had to go to Moyers, and they had one left. And from what they were telling me, they said, hey, this is the last one in the state, because they were trying to get it from other places. Couldn't. So I bought the last one. But it wasn't until I showed this watch, and Noctua Watches came through and said, you know what? Got something for you, Trap. What's your address? And he sent me this strap. This strap, what is it? Straps Pro, X Pro, right? And I took off the actual band this thing had on. There's a bracelet that goes with this, and another strap. They will never see the light of day. They will be pristine for the eternal, because he sent me this from Canada, and that just took this watch to a whole nother level, man. Like, just look at that. I had to cut it to get it, you know what I'm saying, measure it just right for my wrist. But I will always appreciate that. Every time I pick this watch up, I will think about Noctua Watches, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, dude, the community, that goes back to community. You know, I didn't ask him, like, hey, bro, could you send me a strap for this? He just thought enough of me to send this strap, man. He sent this strap, man, and that means a whole world. Like, it means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? So that put a value on this watch that you can't put a price on. You can't. I'm going to show you a watch that actually got a little heat for it, man. It wasn't much, but this Hamilton Crosswind. Now, for those that was present, I bought this from Trifecta, pre-owned. Now, I'm going to tell you the story about this watch, though. And I actually met the man that this watch belonged to. So it added a value to this watch. So I'm at the crib, right? I'm looking at Trifecta. You know what people do when they at home, they got a little time to themselves. You look at watches. At least I think that's what most of y'all do. So I'm on Trifecta's website, and I'm looking at what he got, looking at all the new stock. And I said, you know what, let me go check and see what he had, if he got something pre-owned. This was in pre-owned. Now, this watch retails for $1,100. But he had it way less than, like, 60% less than that, somewhere around there, give or take. So I said, uh-oh, hold up. Yo, Jake. He said, what's going on, bro? I said, you still got that Hamilton? I see it online. He said, yeah. I said, hold it, I'm on my way. Drove over there, and boom, I got it. I bought this watch. Now, I've seen the original. There's a different one. There's an actual chronograph version to this. So you have 4 crowns instead of the 3. I saw that on DK's channel. And it has like this measurement on the back. Like, because this watch is an actual tool watch. This is made for pilots. I ain't smart enough to tell you what this thing does, what the bezel does. I just know it's there. And I feel like a G.I. Joe when I got this thing on. I just feel like a hero. I'm just saying. But, and then I just actually got a strap for it. But story goes, I come back, I want to say about 2 weeks after the fact, and this gentleman was in there talking to Jake, and we're talking, and I had the watch with me. And Jake introduced me. I said, hey, how you doing? And he was talking, and as he's talking, he said, yeah, I was looking at this. He said, I see you got rid of the watch that I traded in. So I'm steadily listening. He said, yeah, man, that Hamilton, I loved it, but, you know, it just gives bad memories. I said, you traded in the Hamilton? He said, yeah. So I went in my bag. I said, this Hamilton? He said, yes. You bought it? I was like, yeah. So he shook my hand. And he told me it was a business deal. He went into business with somebody else. It didn't work out. And he couldn't look at the watch anymore because of the history he had with whoever his business partner was. Kind of sounds like what brand did that back in the day? Patek? Yeah, Patek. Bad business deal with the first partner, had to go to another partner. Yeah. Y'all look the story up yourselves. So I got the watch. It's mine, and I like it. But then the other day I was, telling somebody, hey, this is what I got on the wrist, and that person didn't like it. They were like, oh, no. And I was like, well, you kind of asked for a wrist check, bro. I didn't give you my wrist check for you to jump. But I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay. All right, man, watching. James is out of here, man. Check him out. And if you don't know who Watching James is, just go to his channel. Grand Seiko's on fire. I'm wearing a Grand Seiko GMT with the cream dial today. Ben 10 is in the building. Yes. But in black, yeah, man, it's toned down. It's toned down. I would actually get another one of these. I like it. The watch is given as a gift from my loved ones. Will never leave. Everything else could stay or go depending on how I change. Yeah, that's true. I'm with you. Don Juan here, yo. Don Juan, man. Thank you for being here, man. I love how diverse trap collection is. Man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Well, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. Let's see. Just getting through the chat. I only have a vintage Hamilton from the 70s and a Hamilton Bolton. Like them both. And you should, bro. Just put a new battery on. Gotta bounce. All right, Mike. Holla at you, bro. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, brother. Mike Ponte, man, it's always good seeing him in the chat, man. Blessed to you and the family. So let's keep in. I wanna just keep on topic. I wanna consider your time as well. Let me see what time it is. Okay, yeah, we got time. We only been up for 32 minutes. What's for breakfast, man? I had my same old egg quesadilla. It has like the little vegetables, veggies, and bacon bits and stuff like that, and water and coffee. Oh, and my fruit. Love the fruit. Absolutely. Your new Invicta reminds me of Zodiac. So Chris, they did, and here's the thing. Oh, so all right, I will talk about that. So what he's saying, hold on, let me put this up here. Invicta has, of course, they do homages to everything, and they did do a diver. And this is the one thing that I absolutely despise that Invicta does is when they make an homage to such a great watch. Because that, I'm gonna tell you, that Zodiac diver, and they did it, and the whole ceramic casing and everything. They put a quartz piece in there. This is the opportunity for Invicta to do the one thing. Is that Zodiac is going to cost you, that particular one that they homage, maybe $1,500. So Invicta has an opportunity of saying, hey, okay, we're going to homage it. We're going to take, this idea, and we're going to make it, put our Invicta stuff, put our little stamp on it, but you make it quartz. No. This is what, like Mike was alluding to. If you're going to homage a piece, you have to at least mimic everything down to the watch. I'm just saying, because especially in today's climate, with the way we collect, you have a Swiss made, the STP movement, right? So Invicta, you don't necessarily have to put another Swiss movement in there for price wise. Miyota, come on, man. Like, you can get a Miyota 9039, no date. You can get a Miyota 9015, put in that thing, something high beat, or you could go with the PT 5000. You can go with a base Solita 200-1. You could have done that, charged $400-$500 for the watch, and it's going to be, I mean, come on, man. Minus, now the thing about it is, with that diver, if you get on the strap, it has that vanilla smell to it, and I doubt that, Victor's gonna go through that ordeal to do that. But I'm like, look, if you're making homage pieces, there's some people out there that love Zodiac, but don't have the Zodiac money. They love Invicta. Failed opportunity. I was actually considered buying that watch, and I believe it had like a cheap quartz in it too. So yeah, you can have that, man. That was failed opportunity. Failed. Not spicy quesadilla. A quesadilla, not the spicy, man. Not today, man. All right, so sentimental pieces, and I want to show you guys a new piece that I just got in. Right, I did not buy this piece whatsoever, and there's actually, I have to do. I'm going to show you this watch again, but there's a few other pieces that I got in brand new, and it's actually a swatch piece, the irony. As you can see, this thing hasn't been broken. It's new to me. This watch was given to me by somebody extremely special up in Kokomo, Indiana, right? And this was given to me in the spirit of what happened to my son this year. So, hey, do what you want with this watch, man. I just want, I was thinking about you, and I wanted to do something. Because you and your family went through something dramatic. So I can never sell this particular piece or get rid of it. This is one that I would possibly pass down to his daughter, my grandbaby. I'm like, hey, this was given, and I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to touch it. The battery dies, I'll put another battery in it. And it still has the plastic on it. I'm not taking the plastic off. I'm just going to keep this in here for her because I know she loves watches and stuff like that. And once she's old enough to know better, I'll share this story with her as well. But if I'm not around, somebody can refer her back to this video. So, my little monster, Ladybug, this watch was given to me in spirit of your father. And from the Costco, it's something that I will never get rid of. Now, there are a number of G-Shocks that I got in his honor as well. I will never get rid of. Those will be they will remain, right? They'll be passed out to my sons and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's why I'm saying, that's another reason why I created this video with the inspiration of Super Niche, watching James, and just looking at YouTube as a whole. Let me get back into the chat. Okay, you guys, let me see. That's a church piece right there. Yes. Now, I've shown this watch before. But I want to talk about this in a piece that this was asked to me because you can actually buy this watch. If I was to get rid of it, I can buy it again. This is from Nomadic Watch Company. And micro brand, web-based brand, however you want to call it. This is a watch that I was introduced to, and it has elements of some a great brand that we know, right? Even down to if you look at the case, imagine if that was a closed case. Just look at the elements, right? Nomadic, in my opinion, based on, I like the watch, right? Because I like the look of Tudor and I like a dive watch, right? So we're talking about Submariner. On this one, I see they have elements of both. Now, I consider this to be closer to the original 1953 Rolex versus Tudor. Just as me. I know some people call this the Black Bay 58 or whatever, homage to it. It's more of the story because you see that rotor and stuff on the back. This is tied to, because they're out of Belfast, they literally tie the history of the Titanic to this watch, right? Which I'm like, man, that's crazy. But then when you meet the team, the staff, it's like, man, and they're all about community. They show up to every event that they can. They tell the story, and this watch brand, to me, is synonymous with quality, but inclusion, which I'm going to ask you guys this, and if you made it this far on a replay, what would be, if you had to name a Mount Rushmore for your watches, when you think about what's the purpose of Mount Rushmore, like the beginning of a nation, the economic stability of a nation, man. Like what would be your Mount Rushmore of watch brands? You can either put like just imagine if you could replace the president's faces with a watch. You can either put the brand on it or an actual watch that represents everything, right? I thought about this, and that's a hard one for me because I know when asking this question, I know without a shadow of a doubt that Rolex is going to be one of the first. And granted, they have every right to be on the Mount Rushmore, but I'm asking your personal opinion. What is your Mount Rushmore for the watches? Like for what watch brand do you think represents community, inclusion, prestige, history, price point, affordability, like whatever. Like it's your personal. It is your personal Mount Rushmore for watches, right? And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, hold up. Let's say this, because it mind change. It's so fluid. It's so fluid. I actually put Cartier as one, and I'll explain one of the reasons why. Because Cartier is like it as being one of the first tool watches a man could wear, and the fact that it was used in aviation. And I knew as a kid, I've always loved planes. I never had the Sky Striker for G.I. Joe, but I did have I always had all the Cobra planes. I thought they were just cooler in color. I don't know. So I always loved aviation. And when I joined the military, one of the first planes that I got a chance to get in was a C-19, and I was like, this thing is huge, and I just like, oh my gosh, I would have loved to have something like this on that C-19. I would have, man, bro, my gosh. Big Airbus, just big, stupid airplane, man. I love it, man. And then the Warthog. Oh, anybody that's been in the military, that thing is so satisfying to see maneuver. And I got a chance to see that thing in action, man. Oh, so, all right. What would be your Mount Rushmore? I got Cartier as being one of the brands. Also got Boulevard as being another brand that I think that is, as far as like for the inclusion part of everything else, man. Being that watch was the first watch to be advertised on any commercial, period. Right? I'm like everything else was through the paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. I don't know. Like that. That's as far as I got was those two. It's sort of hard. Longines, Hamilton, Grand Seiko. I thought about Grand Seiko too. Because Grand Seiko, man, the technology on that. Yeah. You know what? I will go with that. Grand Seiko got to go in there. A10, baby, you doggone right. Micro brands are crushing it. And you know what? While the questions out there, I just want to go off of that. You said micro brands are crushing it. I actually wrote down here. Hold up, I'll show you guys. Beyond time. These are my notes that I have that I want to stay on topic. But I put Nike's approach. And what I mean by that is Nike took an approach to what the people were saying. They were looking in Instagram posts, Facebook, YouTube, the blogs, or whatever. All of these different things. So Nike adjusted their marketing to adhere to the people. They would listen to the people. They wanted more colors. They wanted this. They wanted a lightweight shoe. They wanted Jordans in different colorways. They wanted like all the stuff that they wanted. Nike jumped to it, right? And people ate it up. Watch brands, I'm gonna say web-based and micro brands are furious with this. Like they get on it, man. I'm gonna tell you another one. Studio Underdog. I can see Studio Underdog being a part of somebody's Mount Rushmore, right? And I have one that I consider, and it's not big, it's not been promoted, but Visitor Watches, I've said this before, Visitor Watches, man, is an amazing company in my humble opinion, because I got a chance to sit with the founder of this watch brand, and I just love the design, I love the style. the ergonomics of it, the way it was created, how everything he put, man, everything about that watch. And then the fact the name is called Visitor just reminds me of Citizen. I mean, that's just me. I think that's as far as a web-based brand, that company is one of my absolute favorites and deserves to be on the list of other people. It hits that sport sort of dressing, sort of. And man, and you look at the price point, you're like, okay, um, it's a high-end watch as far as I'm concerned. That's what goes into it. I like the watch. I don't expect everybody to agree, but I think it's one of the dope watches out there. And that's excellent as the competition started and is going to bring down prices eventually. Longines Hamilton, Grand Take, Blue. Nomos is Nomos is another one. The new oceanographer ceramic looks cool. Well, I don't know your age, being 10, but I remember when you had many options back in the day. Prices were affordable since you had more options than buyers. Talking about economic. Yeah. Hats on a mission. What's happening? Welcome in. And Hats on a Mission, you got a definite mission for real. I was checking out your channel. I need to watch with a burgundy dial for sure. Yeah, like my Bernhardt. Another watch that I, you know what I'm saying, like it's old school, you know what I'm saying? It's new to me. It's new to me, but it's definitely old. Hey, what do you get? Let me ask you guys this. Would you consider Tissot to be a company that should be on the Mount Rushmore, or at least a contender? Because I know for a fact that if I ask this, or it's out there in public, for everybody to see this on YouTube, you got Cartier, I already mentioned him. You got Patek, you got Rolex, you got AP. I think that, you know what I'm saying, like, minus the Cartier, I'd imagine that someone, you know, maybe Vacheron. You know what I'm saying? Like the Holy Trinity will go up there plus one. Well, that would be Rolex. I don't know, man. I think that's too easy to throw those out there for me, because I know what they mean to the world, but like I have to, like what I consider is current day. How many watch companies, how many brands out here are crushing it? They have inclusion. They're working towards building community. And considering our economic downfall, or they're considering that there was a bill that just got passed. Big, beautiful bill that just got passed. Some are looking at like we're going to be going through a financial woe. And the reason why I mentioned Tissot is because Tissot lasted. They survived through the first Great Depression. They did. They survived. They didn't just survive, they thrived. People were still buying it. There were still people gravitating towards that brand. So that's why I said like Tissot, which this model right here, my absolute favorite. Let's call this a grail for me. Hey, this is a grail family heirloom, and you know, I always consider that my ancestors, when this watch came out originally, which had like an eggshell white dial, same setup, it wasn't even splash proof, it was dust proof. This watch survived, and it was on the wrist of tycoons and money makers, some shakers, like some smooth individuals, right, and hard workers. Just like the people that was gravitating towards this model right here during the 1930s. And I have this watch in my collection. It means a lot. I'll tell you this real quick. I thought somebody stole this watch. It was missing a few days ago. I had went up to Trifecta and was like, yo, Jake, somebody stole my watch, bro. Like, you can't get this watch anymore. They discontinued it. But I found out that my grandbaby had came over. I wasn't at home. She hid this watch in her little cubby, man. And I just so her stuff is next to my table. And I was arranging the living room, cleaning up where she messed up the last time she was here. And I looked, I said, what is this? And it was just a a bunch of watches. She had my Seikos and everything. I was like, you little monster. That's why I was like, so she had them. They were all upside down, face down on a little cushion thing over her teddy bears on top of it. I'm like, wow, wow. So yeah. This one is my non-negotiable. That's my non-negotiable. First chronometer certified timepiece, whole nine. Let me get into the chat. I think Seiko deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore, no doubt. Where am I to show Lalac now? Yeah, hey, that Lalac is beautiful, man. FP Journe. A longer and so, man, I get a chance. Like, if you've never look at these watches, man, and you know, I'm listening to a podcast about A longer, and they're not selling well at all right now. So, maybe an opportunity at some time in the future for those that like that higher quality and stuff like that. It's definitely a watch I say to consider. And here's a watch from a company that Invicta owns that I've shown this watch so many times, man. So y'all already know. For those that don't know the story, this is my Glycine Combat Sub. One of the reasons why I like this watch is because the name Glycine, right? It was like all through the military, all through like helicopter pilots, like boom. Right there was wearing this piece right here. And then those on ground were wearing this right here. Some was trading their Hamiltons in for this. Now, this was a piece that was issued through the military. And fast forward to now, this watch is reminiscent to me. When I look at it, if you look at the dial, it's like a chalkboard black. It's like just flat black. And then it got those number markers. It's like a clock that's like in the hallway of like one of the old hospitals from the 80s or your school, just like an old building. And that's why I like this watch, man. It's very precise, it's very accurate. I love the coffee brown bezel on this thing. But here's the thing. For years, I tried to become an ambassador for the Invicta Watch Company. Would not. They weren't playing games. You know, there were people that were given that opportunity years before I inquired about it, but it just went out the window, right? So for years, I said, well, it don't matter. I'm gonna still rep it because I thought the community was dope. Well, Shop HQ ran a program, and I will say this: they will never give me credit for it. But I reached out to them a year before they rolled this program out. And I said, you guys need to have an ambassadorship program, and I would love to be that guy. This is what it would look like, right? I sent this whole list. I got one email back. I think that's a great idea, and nothing else happened after that. Fast forward, exactly 1 year after I sent the email, they rolled out this half thought out ambassadorship program, and they opened it up to 9 people on there. And it was a 50-50 split on people. Like, they didn't give any instructions on how to do it. How do you be in that? How to become an ambassador is more than just, I'm going to just post this on YouTube, because now you're going to sound like a commercial. Well, that was right up my alley because I had already been representing the brand as a collector, as an enthusiast. So I went to work just showing like, hey, and they did this thing where they gave me a code. They wanted all new customers, but they didn't give anything for like existing customers, which I said this: if you're going to give something to new customers, give them a 33% off coupon for them to buy, 25% off coupon for existing customers. Let everybody wins, because now you got more and more people buying. Well, I got a number of, I got a good deal of people. I actually still have the email. And the program ran for a month maybe. So I got, instead of getting paid, they gave me credit to get a watch. And I got $660 worth of credit. And this was the first thing I bought with that credit. This is my first Glycine that I bought myself. So this watch will never leave. And it came with a H-Link style bracelet. I thought it would look better with this mesh. And this mesh is made by Glycine. Where is it at? So you see it right there, the Glycine. and well, at least it has their brand on. I don't know who makes it. Doesn't grab hairs, but this is the perfect watch for me. I enjoy it, and every time I look at it, I know that even though I wasn't given the credit for coming up with a promotion for this company, I know that my hard work earned me this watch. Yep, and I actually got a Magnum Trio with the rest of the money. Mesh brushes are always good. Yes, I still don't own a Glycine Airman. I should be ashamed of myself. Come on, Ben 10, bro. Like, hey, go over to Ashford's, bro. Like, they're like dirtball cheap. And the one thing I'm gonna say about these watches, because this has a Salida 300 in it, when you wind it, oh, you talking about the smoothest thing ever. So smooth. I mention that time and time again. The Glycine is one of the top watches in your collection. Man, man, bro. If nothing else, man, like that's it, man. That's it. Oh, and Kokomo has a watch. And I already told them, I said, hey, you can't sell this one because they have the original, the 1953 version of this. It is missing the locking crown, which they say they can get. That's going to be in my collection. Yeah, just know that. Just know that. That's going to be in my collection, most definitely. There's another Glycine that I got my eye on, and you guys are not going to be surprised when it gets there why I chose it. The one, yeah, man, yeah, bro, yeah. I know we're just about halfway through 2025, and I'm not trying to jump the gun for 2026, but I can tell you this: I don't know what the economic struggle or advancement is going to be for 2026, but I've already started writing down what I want to do for the channel, the content I want to go over. Man, my brother Tony White just walked in the building. What's going on, bro? I love the Punisher. Man, Punisher, I'm trying to tell you. Tissot Hamilton, Casio, Seiko, affordable Mount Rushmore. Yes, I agree with that, but I guess the higher prices are keeping my impulses at bay. Yeah, that's Punisher. Yep, official Punisher T-shirt. I dig Punisher. FP Jorn is another one. Yep. Let me see. We're gonna land this plane here in a second. Did I show you guys everything? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. For once, I got through everything that I possibly could. So I showed you guys this. This is heirloom to me. This is something. And get this, children. I know you don't watch my show, but when I leave this planet, you can go back and be like, well, let me just go through Dad's stuff, which I know there's a lot of videos, but wherever this is in the house, which is going to be easy to find, it's going to be in my little spot. Y'all can fight over it. This is another one that I consider to be a great watch, and I got a chance to meet Peter and his family, his wife. Man, they are amazing people, and I support the brand. I think this is a great brand. And of course, Hamilton was mentioned earlier. I will always own a Hamilton. I have a few of them in my collection. I think those are great. They should be on the Mount Rushmore. Matter of fact, I think we should have multiple. We could have multiple. Just if you did an affordable Mount Rushmore, if you did a grail level Mount Rushmore, and these are pieces that you either own or you aspire to own, or yeah. And lastly, I want to say this before we out of here. This thing has a paid promotion. It doesn't have paid promotion. But I do have paid promotion videos, man. And this is coming off the comments of you guys. When you leave any comments, I either talk to you directly on Instagram. If I got your phone number, we'll talk directly. Talking about paid promotions, when it comes to watches, what's the best and stuff like that. And you guys don't trust, some of you guys don't trust YouTubers that will do the paid promotion. And you never revisit that watch. You never show a wrist shot of you wearing even the brand. And I do have a number of paid promotion videos out there. Most of my paid promotion videos actually came from Trifecta. The other one came from Vincianico, which I think, as far as inclusion and craftsmanship, I think that is another brand that deserves a mention. I actually have them written down over here. Matter of fact, I got Boulevard, Islander, which is another great company, Vincianico, G-Shop, Longines, Studio Underdog, Citizen, Seiko, Nomadic, Zellos, Christopher Ward, Hamilton. All of these companies have one thing in common. They do put out a great watch. A lot of these companies have history. The other ones are bringing history to us right now, but they're including us. They're including us. They're making stuff that, like, if you post something or if you can reach out to some of these web-based brands, they'll consider what you're talking about, and 7 or 8 months later, you may see the watch that you helped inspire, right? For them. That's one thing I like. But paid promotions, one thing that I can promise that if I do a paid promotion, it's always appreciation to the company that sent me the watch and gave me the opportunity to do that. And 9 times out of 10, you're getting a watch that you like anyway. Now, if there was a brand, if I did a paid promotion, you'll get my honest opinion. If a company say, "Hey, Trap, we want you to, check out this watch," and I look at it and I don't like it, I'm gonna say, "Hey, y'all, like, not my personal preference, but you may like this because of X, Y, Z," and that's all I can say. I'm trying. You trying to own my? Man, please, this is some stuff in your collection that I like. Your collection is stupid. What are you talking about, bro? I'm a baby when it comes to this collector thing. To you? Nah. And then I can hear you saying, "I ain't making no noise." Yeah, whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man. Trap, I'm not trying to buy anything else. Jay Jones, stop it. Hey, I got a video coming out at 1:30 today, man. A premiere. It's like 23 minutes long. It's my visit out to Trifecta. Somebody got called out in that video. I can't mention who I called out, but you guys just have to see it. I ain't making no noise. Yeah, I knew you. You lying to me right now. Know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. I'm gonna get sued. This man said I'm trying to own Trap's collection. Hey, listen, I ain't making no noise. It's fired. I'm telling you, man, T White got 1 million of them, man. He's like, man, yeah. I can't give out the game, man. I've been around him so long, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. T White messed around and sued me for copyright infringement. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. He makes t-shirts. That's the crazy thing. T White, you make that shirt, I'm gonna buy it, bro. You make that shirt, bro, I'm gonna buy it. I'll buy it. Flat out. You make that shirt, I'm definitely gonna get it, bro. Trap, I wish I could hold your collection. Why? Why you want to hold my collection and you barely holding yours? Huh? You got enough watches to crush an elephant. You feel what I'm saying? You know what? You can fill up an elephant, and then he'll explode from like your watch collection is stupid big. Get out of here, bro. What are you talking about? What do you mean, sir?
That'll actually be nice.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I ain't making no noise. And like T White be making some fire shirts too. Fire shirts. So yeah, hey, you know what? I actually got everything off the list we talked about. And I did it in less than an hour. Right now it was just like, hey, we just winding up, kicking it off. I was actually starting to put some of these watches back in the thing so I can boogie, because I gotta go to work. I have to go to work, unfortunately, because of some unforeseen circumstances and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was supposed to be in a whole different state this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Huh? I was supposed to be in a whole different state this weekend, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, stuff's always changing, man. And hear me trying to be the model or ideal employee, you feel me? The things you have to go through, man. I'm just saying. So, yep. Noctua watches, man. Get me this strap right here. I'll just say, reach out to them and Another little heirloom. I got Giant Mouse. I got this on the last watch event that I've been on. They gave me this as I exited out of there, man. I think it's super dope, man. That's what I love about community. I love these watch companies for what they do. And that's not a watch company, that is a knife company. EDC. That goes hand in hand. EDC, your flashlights, your knives, and things of that nature. Your wallet clips, your wallets, different stuff. Yeah, you know, all that. You on your man. Trap, you have pieces I'll never get. Man, bro, look. You got pieces that I can't, man. You know what? That's a cool thing. All jokes aside, that's a cool thing about this community and what we do. Consider this. I don't know what if there's going to be a downturn in our economy, money-wise. I know some people lost their jobs, or losing their jobs. Pay's been cut. There's a lot of things that's going on that's going to affect us in the long run, possibly, maybe in a negative light. So I know people they're holding steady as far as watches and like that. Just because you making less money or you've lost your job, whatever the case is, right? Or you just like the prices are getting too high. You're still a watch collector at heart. You're still an enthusiast, man. This is something that you enjoy, right? And there's things that there's people that it's like, and I know that wanted to get a Rolex, but like it's like that road to get that watch that they want is getting further, man. The goalpost is moving back further and further. So there's alternatives to where you're going, and then like you're not happy inside because you're like, I really wanted a Rolex. All I can tell you is this. Trying to buy that brand new piece, that brand new Rolex, and there's always pre-owned, there's always somebody, like you just have to look. Part of this game is the search, it's the hunt. You're hunting for something. I'm sure you'll be able to get it with, like, just keep saving the money. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because we enjoy the hobby. You're not gonna walk away from it just because stuff got bad. That's one thing that proved this to me just from history, from what we read and what we know about our country here on the state side. Through the Great Depression, though people were pretty much flat dead broke from the money they had in banks and stuff like that, they still wanted stuff. Now, of course, you got to keep everything. Like they still wanted stuff. There were still companies out there that were making money, car corporations, the whole nine. They were still making money because people was making it happen, one way or the other. So, all I'm saying is stick with it. Don't just jump at the first thing. Affordability is cool, and if that's your jam, do it. If you like buying affordable watches, which that is fun, I honestly think it's fun because you do get more for your buck as far as satisfying what you like. Who cares what other people say? Like, hey man, why are you doing this? Why are you paying so much attention to me? Take your luxury watch self back across the street and stay out my yard. Stay off my grass, okay? Don't bother me. I'm loving what I'm doing. So there we are. I'm done. I gotta go to work. All right, y'all. Hey, I appreciate you guys for watching, man. If you guys got time around 1:30, I do have a premiere, and hopefully, I'll still be at work. But I'm going to try to chime in. As a matter of fact, I'm going to chime in because when I'm there, I'm like, hey, look, I was supposed to be off today. So it comes with the territory. You're really on my time, okay? Saturday belongs to Trapvision, at least in my spectrum. Look at me thinking too highly of myself. All right, y'all, man. I appreciate you guys, man. And until the next lightning strike, y'all be blessed.